going on, everybody? This is Dale from Upstate Bets and DFS. I'm here with my partner Riaz, bringing you guys NBA on a Friday here. This is an 11-game slate, so sorry for not getting the video out yesterday. Just a kind of crappy slate, three gamers, a lot of injuries, so there's a lot of questionables going around, and PrizePicks wasn't able to get the lines out until like 2 o'clock, and we work afternoons into the night, so like it just wasn't a good time, and there just really wasn't that much to talk about on that slate either. If we really liked some things, we would have made the video, but regardless, like we didn't want to put something out that we weren't that confident in. Thank you for joining us too. If this is your first time with us, we're Upstate Bets. We do Prize Picks videos. We also do a couple other things. We dive into some DraftKings stuff, some other fantasy sites, but mainly we do Prize Picks over here daily. And if this is your first time seeing Prize Picks, welcome. They're an awesome simplified daily fantasy sports app. It's a nice change of pace from the other sites. You don't really have to play against hundreds of thousands of people. You're kind of just you against the house, and they drop these lines earlier in the day, and you can kind of take a look at what you like. We'll talk about what we like, but for instance, Julius Randle's here at 22.5. You could take the over, the under on that. You can string a couple of these together, and then you can 10 extra money, 5 extra money. Like I said, super simple, and you don't have to deal with no sharks or nothing like that. Just kind of what you like, you plug it in, and you kind of it's kind of all up to you, man. So we're gonna talk about a couple things we like. Sometimes on the smaller slate, we like to build, something for you guys. But we will highlight a couple players. Riaz has a couple guys he likes. I got a couple in each category. We'll talk fantasy score at the end, and he's gonna get us started here in the points.
Yeah, the first guy I like here is Gordon Hayward. I really haven't talked about him much, really this year. I really haven't been on him, but I like the matchup against New York. I think Charlotte's been playing awesome so far this year. The Knicks really aren't as bad as people would have thought, and Gordon Hayward's got a nice matchup here. I mean, the line's sitting at 16 and a half. Great line for him. He's averaging almost 20 points a game, and we've seen as of late that he's really been scoring the ball well. I mean, 4 out of the last 5, he's gotten over 20 points. I know he's had a couple stinkers this year. He had 6 points against Cleveland, and then the third game out against Brooklyn, he had 8. But really, other than those games, he has just been playing really good basketball. And the big thing is, I mean, he's shooting 46% from three. And when you got a shooter like that, we know Gordon Hayward is an incredible scorer here. So I love his line at 16 and a half.
Yeah, he's shooting wicked from deep. That's what I like, and he's been taking quite a bit of them. So his attempts per make this season is at a fair ratio. It's not like he's only taking a couple threes a game. Some games he's shooting 8. So he's shooting those at a really good clip, and he's shooting double-digit shots. Last game he got to the line 11 times. I mean, not 11 times, but he shot 11 free throws. A little bit of an outlier there, but I think regardless, we know who Gordon Hayward is as a player. Like, obviously the last couple seasons, like, haven't been perfect since his Jazz days. But, he's going to get things going, I think, here. He's averaging 18.6 points on the season. I like his role in this offense, and I can kind of correlate this with something else. I like LaMelo in the assist category, but we'll get to that later. So I like this pick here, Gordon Hayward, 16.5, and there's really not that many people I like on points, man. So I think he's one of the ones I want to highlight here, and I'm just going to let Riaz continue here as we go down.
Yeah, the last guy I want to talk about is Lonzo Ball. With Nikolai Vucevic still out with COVID, we saw Lonzo really take advantage of the scoring aspect here. I mean, when you got one of your top guys, top scorers out, someone's got to pick up the slack, and Lonzo did that. Pretty awesome. He had 21 points last game. That's why we see his line at 13 and a half. He's not averaging 13, which is tough, but he has had a couple games where it just brings down the average. But I really like the line. If it was sitting at 15 or maybe even like 16 and a half, I would like the under here. But 13 and a half is a great line. We've seen him get there plenty of times this year, and against Golden State. They like to play fast, put up a bunch of points, and Chicago is another team that has looked awesome acquiring the pieces that they have in the offseason. So I think this is going to be a great game. It's going to be a high scoring game, and Lonzo Ball is going to get that number tonight.
Yeah, Lonzo Ball obviously with the uptick in usage here with Vucevic being out. I like this at 13.5. Good game against Dallas. That was a good opportunity for him to get some things going. 10 3-pointers in that game. You always like to see some stuff like that too as well. So I think he's in a really good spot tonight. I think we're going to see a nice solid stretch of games from Lonzo Ball to come. Uh, I know I predicted the same thing with Steph Curry last video, and he was 1 3-pointer away from getting that over, which is just unfortunate. He's up above him. Um, it's just like Steph, just based on volumes, he's gonna shoot a lot of shots. I don't think this game is gonna be very high scoring. I can see this game being pretty gritty, man. But I think Steph, obviously, like night in night out, is gonna get his regardless. Am I gonna like plug him in here? I don't like him in this spot as much as I did against him against Minnesota. Obviously, Anthony Edwards was the one to just go berserk in that game, not Steph. But no, I just wanted to talk about Steph a little bit here in that game because obviously just based off of volume, he's in a decent spot. But the guy that I'm on is DeJounte Murray. We pretty much see him at 17.5 like every time he's on here. I mean, this is basically just where he sits. This is like I'm not going to say, like, I mean, it's obviously not his floor, but this is just pretty much what he's averaging on the season, averaging 18 points on the season. And we've seen him have some stinker games where he's putting up 10 against some bad teams, so you don't like to see that. But usually against, pretty solid teams, he plays well. So, I mean, I'm not saying that, I'm in love with this matchup tonight, but last time he went and played Dallas, 23 points. I like to see that, and he almost had a triple-double in that game. So his fantasy score, I think it's at like 41. I don't think that's horrible, but I like him in the points tonight, especially we already seen him have one game against Dallas. Shoots a bunch of shots, focal point in the offense, really. He's not going to wow you with scoring every night. Like, he's not going to go out there and go for 30, but, like, we haven't seen it yet. So we're only 10, 12 games in, so, like, can we see that? Yeah. This season, but so far we haven't. But either way, 17. Just in terms of matchup and who he is as a player, I like him.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of figured once DeMar DeRozan left that DeJounte Murray was going to have to be the guy for the Spurs to really pick up the scoring and just the playmaking, and he's done that very well this year.
Yeah, we'll hop over to rebounds, man, and there's a few guys that I was looking at. One guy that I'm on particularly, but I'm curious to hear who you like.
Yeah, I got two guys here. I'll start with one, and he's a little bit further down. I like John Morant. I was on him last time we did a video, and he's just been crushing this number. I mean, he's 5 is his average, and he's hit it the last 5 games, and to even go further than that. Besides the first 3 games, he didn't hit that. In his last 8, he's hit that. It's nice DeAndre Ayton is still out. I know there's JaVale McGee, Frank Kaminsky that is filling in for him, but we see in the NBA that if you got a point guard or just a guard in general that crashes the boards. His athletic, I'm not even gonna try, but John Morant is just a special guy, great talent, crashes the boards, gets a bunch of assists. I just really like this number, and the fact that he's just been crushing this number over and over again, it's hard to kind of not take it here.
Yeah. Honestly, the fact that it's sitting at just flat, it means you can get a solid push here where only. One game this season, he had 2, and then he had 3 and 4. But I think those games, I think they're just outliers, man. I think we're just going to consistently see Ja around the 6 to 7 number. So I think this is a pretty solid discount for him because those games where they were down, they were pretty early in the season. So I like him in the spot. He's a great rebounding point guard. There's a lot of them in this league, but he's definitely one of those top tier guys. The guy I'm on, already a tremendous rebounder, has been for his career really. I was thinking he flew off the screen here because sometimes it does that on here. People are flying on and off. But here he is. He came back. Is Giannis, man. I think Giannis is in a good spot tonight. Obviously, they're still dealing with the injuries. He's actually listed as questionable, but it says probable for the game against Boston tonight. Um, we've been kind of on big men against Boston this season. I know you're not going to consider Giannis as like a true center, but realistically, like he grabs rebounds like he is a true center. Great offensive rebounder too. I mean, realistically, probably one of the best in the league as an offensive rebounder. Sometimes he gets like I remember watching that Brooklyn game, first game of the season. He had like 4 rebounds in one possession. Um, just cleaning up his own misses too. Even like grabbing an offensive rebound, trying to put it back up. Just I don't know. He just puts himself in these opportunities to get this really quick, and we've seen him go for 18 against Washington, 16, 15. So yeah, I guess you can look at that and say trending down, but he's still regardless smashing this 11, which is projected tonight. So I like him here. Didn't score the ball well last game, but either way, that's not really what we're looking for here. Rebounds in particular, and I think this is an awesome spot for him.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. The last guy I want to talk about is Keldon Johnson. His line's sitting at 16 and a half. We've seen him grab a bunch of boards as of late since Jaka Portal is still out. We know Thaddeus Young is still in there. Kind of when they go small, he kind of fills in as the center for that lineup. But we saw last time against Dallas, he only had six, um, but he didn't have that great of a game. Uh, Even though he did play 31 minutes, I think he's gonna have a bounce back here against Dallas. I love the spot. We know we know Porzingis grabs a bunch of boards. Luka grabs a bunch of boards, but Johnson's just gotta take that step um, that I'm looking for as a Spurs fan, and I think if he can average 8, 9 rebounds, that would just be great for this team. And I think that's kind of where he's going to get to at the end of the season. And no perfect to start early in the season to grab a bunch of boards in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to going Keldon Johnson here. I don't mind the spot. For him as well. He's been rebounding the ball well. If this was at 5.5, I think this would be like amazing. So I don't think we're gonna see this line shift at all. So I think this is where it's gonna sit. But I don't mind him here in that spot either. We're gonna hop over to assists. The one guy I was looking at here, well, I actually have two highlighted on my notes here. But one guy I was looking at, it's not a pretty play, but realistically, he's gotten over here. Uh, 60% of the time this season in the 10 games. In the last 5, he's hit it every time. That's Sadiq Bey here in assists. Obviously, he's not known for playmaking. He's a younger guy. I think this is his second year in the league. They got Cade in there now, which honestly, could be benefiting him in the playmaking aspect a little bit more. I know, Cade handles the ball. But it depends on the offense really and the sets that they're running. But Sadiq Bey, he puts himself in a solid spot. Usually he's just gonna sit there kind of in the corner and shoot some threes. But if he can get a decent look into someone like Isaiah Stewart down low, or like a quick out to someone like Jeremy Grant to like a 3-pointer. The offense, I mean, Detroit, they're not perfect to watch. Cade's pretty much like the only highlight guy there. But realistically, if for a guy that's been hitting this majority of the season, I mean, you can roll with it just to kind of if you're game log watching. So I didn't really want to, plug him in and take the over here, but I just wanted to mention him because he has hit that the last 5 games, and actually 60% of the games this season he's hit. So I just wanted to mention him there. But the guy I wanted to highlight and talk about was LaMelo Ball at 6.5. Obviously, we know what he could do. We've been watching this kid literally since he was like a freshman in high school. 6.5 assists, pretty shallow. We see his numbers climbing game by game. His averages, his salary is going up against all these like DFS sites. Obviously, he's just trending upwards. He's been scoring the ball awesome this season. He's averaging almost 20 a game. He's averaging 7.1 assists on the season too. Some games he's hitting double digits, triple double factor. So I think he's just got tremendous confidence in his game now. Always been an elite passer from every league that he's played in. Runs the pick and roll super effectively, and I really like this offense nowadays. With Gordon Hayward finding his shot, Miles Bridges is taking a step forward. Rozier's back in the lineup, and he's playing well too. And some shooters off the bench like Kelly Oubre. who don't play too bad in their role either. So I think he's in a solid spot with a lot of shooters around him. So I think LaMelo, I mean, realistically, he can smash this at any night, any given point. So I think 6.5 is something he can realistically do in his sleep. But obviously, no such thing as like a lock here. But regardless, I think he's in a solid spot against New York.
Yeah, Lamelo was a guy I was going to talk about, and I was going to add a little something if you didn't hit on it, but you covered that perfectly. So I'm not even going to talk about Lamelo. You took care of that. The last guy I want to talk about is DeJounte Murray. You talked about him a little bit, and for the points, but even just playmaking in general. In just every category, it seems to me that DeJounte Murray has just been smashing this year. His line's sitting at 7. I love that number. We saw last time he had eight assists against Dallas, and then even games after that he was right around 8, 7, 9, 7. So this is a great line for him. I can actually see him having a monster game against Dallas. I can see him getting a triple double, if not getting a triple double, having like 21 points, 13 assists. So I think that line's a little too low for him in this game, and that's one I will be taking.
Yeah, last game against Dallas too. He hit over this. Um, usually he's like pushing this line regardless, so I don't mind him here in this spot. We had a game this season where he had 15, which is awesome to see. So hopefully he can develop into that consistent like triple double guy. We know it's there for him. Obviously we want to see some jumps in the scoring category. But I think all his lines today are pretty fair. I think regardless, Price Picks did an awesome awesome job on all these lines today. So we're gonna hop over to 3 pointers made, and one guy I'm on particularly. But they've been updating this like crazy. This since the first time I looked at this. This is like 6 people on here. From now, there's like literally like 40. So, who do you like, Riaz?
Yeah, I really only like one person here. It's kind of a weird pick, but I do love these half 3 pointers made, and that's Evan Mobley. Great rookie, and honestly, with this pick, I'm just going off of since Colin Sexton has been out. We know he scores the ball. He averages about 20 points a game, and we know someone's got to pick up the slack. And Mobley, he's not a great 3-point shooter. He's only shooting 25% from three, but he is taking quite a bit. And I'm just going off his last 2 games where he was 2 for 4 and 1 for 3. So he's shooting the ball a little bit more since Colin Sexton has been out. So I like that line on the fact that he's got the confidence. I like riding the hot hand, and the fact that he's made 2 and 1 is over this half. And we saw when he was at college for USC, he was a great player. I mean, he was shooting the 3 quite a bit there. So I like the fact that he's building a little confidence and definitely shooting it. So I'm going to take the over half for him.
Yeah, Evan Mobley, he's been a really good player so far this season. Obviously, in the defensive side of the ball too. Cleveland as a team has been shocking, but Mobley's been good, and I like the fact that he's stepping out and just has the confidence to been shooting them. The past like 5-6 games, he's been taking 1 to 2 3-pointers, but the last 2 he's been taking 4 and 3. So I really like that. Obviously, he's been hitting them at 25%. So if he does go out and shoot 4 3-pointers tonight, that would be awesome. It's not like you're taking a chance on a guy who might even shoot one. I believe that he's going to shoot a couple tonight. So there's sometimes some of these get listed, and there's a couple guys on here who don't even like really shoot. Like you'll see a line for like some center that barely even shoots threes. But I think he's a guy. I think as his career goes on and the season starts to go underway and we get midseason, I think he's going to be the type of guy that might shoot 30% from deep, maybe 28%, and maybe he won't take 5 or 6 a game, but maybe he will develop into a better 3-point shooter and have more confidence in that category. So I think this could be a little discount for Mobley. So I don't mind him here at just a half 3-pointer. Take the over on that. And then the only guy I was talking about here at the top, he flew off the screen, man. He's actually not here. Sometimes things like this happens, but it was actually there he is now, Fred VanFleet. Um, he's hit this the last 5 games. I mean, he's hitting this majority of time in the season so far, and I think he's just in a good spot. He's not even he's popping on here for no reason. He's not even playing tonight. Is he on your screen?
No, he's not.
He keeps popping on my screen and then he's off. This is bizarre, guys. I don't know if I've seen some shit like this before, but yeah, no, I looked at him. He's not on my notes, but I looked at him. I'm like, VanFleet, he's at 2.5, like, and he's been like, you know what I'm saying? He's been hitting that, so I highlighted him quick, and now he's off the screen again. But looking at it, it's fucking November 11th. He's not even playing tonight, so that's just an outlier, man. So like I said, jokes on me here for wanting to even take VanFleet because he would have took my money and ran like he ran off the screen tonight. So, um, wow, yeah, I don't really. Other than that, man, not really liking too much on here. Besides from Mobley, but we'll hop the fantasy score. I'll just let Riaz take over here, so I don't pick a guy that's playing tomorrow.
Yeah, the guy like for fantasy scored. You were on him the last game, and we were talking about him, and that's Cade Cunningham. His line's sitting at 26.5, and we saw since he's gotten that uptick of minutes, he's been playing kind of how we thought he was going to. Oh, he's actually at 27.5 now. Now that I'm looking at it, but regardless, I still love that line. I think he's gonna be around 32 to 35 tonight. I love the matchup against Cleveland. Two very young teams that are gonna get going here. Um, we saw that he not only scores the ball, but he gets rebounds, assists, and just kind of covers all the stats. And as of late, he's been making a lot of 3 pointers and scoring the ball very well. So I love the uptick of minutes, and I really like his line at 27.5.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the thing I like the most really is just the volume of shots is going up game by game. Dealt with some foul trouble last game against Houston. I don't, whatever. Like that's just things that happen. You can't expect for that to, you can't really project things like that. I think he's gonna play around 32 minutes tonight. I think he's in a solid spot. I think Cleveland is, like I said, good defensive team. But I think just in terms of volume, Kate is good in that aspect. He's got to limit his turnovers a little bit, but he's actually doing a little bit more for you than we thought. He's getting a couple steals there. He actually blocked a shot last game too, which was nice to see. He's the type of guy that I think is going to develop into that double-double, maybe even triple-double guy, in the next couple years. But we know who Cade is as a player. Obviously, tremendous. 27 is a discount. I think as the year progresses, I think things are going to increase for him. I'm kind of back on here, Grayson Allen, man. I'm going to look at him for a second. We just know how the offense has been playing. He's been playing well. I think this is a better matchup against Boston compared to last game against New York. You know, I just think Grayson Allen, I think that in the three-pointers made category, if he was there, I would be pretty likely to take that. I mean, at last time he was sitting at 2.5. I'm mad at myself for not taking it. I was on him in the fantasy score. He just was under, but he's at 25 now. He's been getting, since the injuries have been happening in Milwaukee, he had 38 points against New York the first time, but when they played New York in New York, he just didn't have a great game. So I think he's taken a bunch of shots. He's hit 5 3-pointers in the last two, six in the last couple, and he's been shooting double digit shot attempts, and he's been sometimes he's taking double digit 3-pointers. So Grayson Allen in the spot. I still think it's a nice over to take. Realistically, I think just in terms of volume, just like how we're talking about Cade, I think that's solid. I think people are going to be, not looking at him as much. I think his line started to decrease because of that last game, but I still like him here at 25. And if there's anyone you like here, Riaz, go ahead because things are starting to update and there's a lot of guys here.
Yeah, I just have one more, but I definitely do agree with the Grayson Allen. Milwaukee signed him for a reason, and I mean it's not to just keep him on the bench. They want him to shoot the ball, be another scorer for them, and definitely just have another shooter that can go out there and make a couple of threes for you. And I do like that line for Grayson Allen, and The one guy I really want to talk about, I saw his line and I just could not believe it, and that is Isaiah Stewart. I really like his under here. His line sitting at 30 and a half. I think that line is just way too high for him. I mean, out of the 12, 13 games or or so this year, he's only hit that line one time. I'm not sure why he's at this line, but I love taking advantage of guys who I just believe are not that good and aren't going to score that many fantasy points. I mean, I've been wrong plenty of times before, but I don't like taking the under. But here, with just all the research and everything I've looked at, I just can't see him getting over 30 and a half.
Yeah, he's actually not on my screen, but he was before we started the video. And I do like that for the under for him too. I mean, I just think what you said was spot on realistically. I think that's like his ceiling is at 30. So anytime you can get a guy at his ceiling, I think an under is a solid spot. A couple guys in this Brooklyn game are down below. Yeah, Marcus Aldridge is at 24 and a half. Joe Harris here is at 19. Kevin Durant at 44. I get nervous about the blowout in this game. I don't really think it's I don't think it affects people like, Alexander Walker and Valanciunas. We saw Alexander Walker had an amazing game last time. Amazing. So, he doubled, almost tripled this line last time out there. I think, no, I think that is tripled this 27 and a half line. He had 63 against OKC. So, talk about riding a hot hand. I think he's in a solid spot as well. 33 points last time and 10 rebounds. And I think if he's going to be scoring the ball like that, I think that's a solid spot for Nickeil Alexander-Walker as well in that Brooklyn game. So I'm going to highlight him as well. And then other than that, really, there's a lot of people here, and I think we already said that Prize Picks did an awesome job on these lines, and I don't know, man. I think we're gonna wrap this up. I think we can talk for days about some of these guys, but I think realistically we have a lot of good picks across the board. We hope you have a good night. Taking these if you do decide to take these, and if there's anything we didn't talk about, drop it down below in the comments. You guys have been smashing the comment section. I know we had some talk about starting up a Discord. One guy mentioned it, and we're definitely thinking about it. It's definitely been in the works, and I think that you can see that very soon from us. So we just got to get some things cleared up. We also work too, so we just got to figure out ways to be interactive with the Discord, interactive with the people watching our videos and stuff like that. We don't want to just put it out and not be 100% in it. So. These videos have been smashing. We can't thank you enough for that. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Please do that. Like the video if you can. And be responsible tonight with some of these picks. A lot of these are pretty iffy, man. So I don't want you guys to go in there thinking that we're just gonna smash all of these. That's not the way things work in the DFS world. So like I said, be responsible, and we'll see you on the next video. We'll be doing an NFL video that'll be out tonight. If you guys are into NFL, so NFL Prize Picks video out tonight, and we'll do NBA as the weekend goes on too. So I hope you guys have a good one. We'll see you next time. Peace.